Oh, I'm gonna hurt him. I'm gonna hurt him real bad. They keep taking away my Teletubby son.
Did we ever wonder if the Teletubby baby son ever became a murderer? I think about that a lot.
I don't think... No, I've never wondered that. But I don't think he did. She? I don't know.
Them? I don't know. I don't know who they are.
I can't remember.
Maybe it was more than one baby. Maybe there never was a baby to begin with. Hello, my name is Fred Stewart, and welcome to Hans, Graves, and Omens. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host.
Hi, it's me. It's Taylor.
Hello, Tay.
Hello.
This the Windows update really needs to piss off.
Said no. You need to figure it out right now. 'Cause why not?
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's the perks of recording on a PC like that. Move my beer out of the way. Excuse me. I got some true crime news I want to talk about. It's pretty pressing matter. And what has been described by the press as what a mess.
Oh.
Trying to be funny, but it wasn't funny. A Kentucky man pulled a bag of drugs and a wad of cash when officers asked for his ID.
Oh.
David Ratliff, 43, was passed out behind the wheel of his car Friday in a parking lot on U.S. Route 421 in Manchester, about 100 miles south of Lexington, Kentucky. When police arrived on scene, they asked for the individual, Mr. Ratliff, for his identification, and instead he whipped out, quote, a baggie of meth pills and a large sum of U.S. currency. He was promptly arrested by the sheriff's office.
You know?
Not the best day.
Definitely not. You're going to have a little bit of issue because the dog is underneath the table again.
When is she not?
Usually she's on the side, but today...
You were spouting some stuff off that got me fired up before we even started recording. And I was like, you fucking say that for the podcast, dude. I got some things to say. People care about what I have to say about this topic. Above all else, above all the shit we talk about, all the true crime, all the ghosts, all the aliens, all the cryptids, the cults, everything. This is what's important, okay?
So according to the Ohio Supreme Court, chicken wings advertised as boneless can have bones.
No, that's incredibly wrong. That's the most wrong thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It literally says boneless.
So,
void of bones. That's fucking absurd.
Yeah. So, this all arose because a man named Michael Berkheimer was dining with his wife and friends at a wing joint in Hamilton, Ohio, and ordered some boneless wings with Parmesan garlic sauce.
It's a good choice.
And he felt a bite-sized piece of meat go down the wrong way. 3 days later, he was feverish and unable to keep food down, so he went to the emergency room where a doctor discovered a long, thin bone had torn his esophagus and caused an infection. He sued the restaurant, saying that the restaurant failed to warn him that so-called boneless wings, which are, of course, nuggets of boneless, skinless breast meat, could contain bones. The suit also named the supplier and the farm that produced the chicken, claiming all were negligent. And in a 4-3 ruling, the Supreme Court said Thursday that boneless wings refers to a cooking style, and that Berkheimer should have been on guard since against bones, since it's common knowledge that chickens have bones.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but chickens have bones. Now, I gotta fix my Manicam now. Moving cams around. Like, obviously chickens have bones.
Yes. Okay, so like...
What the fuck? But like, it's boneless. It's boneless chicken wings.
Yes.
Meaning it's void of bones.
Like, so, I mean, obviously when you're eating any sort of meat, like, I'm not going to be upset if there's like a feather remaining on a piece of chicken or like a piece of cartilage or whatever.
But
when you say...
I will.
I mean, like, it happens. It's something that can happen. Yes, it shouldn't have, like, gone through the, like, quality control check.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, like,
But, like-
served to you at a restaurant is what I'm saying.
Well, like, a piece of cartilage, I get.
Yes, that I get. At a restaurant, totally.
I've
it
also
happens.
seen where, like, a feather gets missed.
Where are you fucking eating at, dude?
I haven't seen it
The
personally.
side of the road?
No.
What are you talking about?
I've seen them.
Here at that Dan's Chicken Restaurant is the only place where we serve it to you with the feather still on it.
Well, no, it's not like a full feather. It's like a remnant of like a tiny feather that didn't.
So what, is just chicken that supposed to make you feel bad? You know?
But
Be
like,
like, you know how beloved our dear chicken Steve was? We loved him.
it just wasn't plucked fully, and
2
it
years
happens.
before you decided to order the chicken club salad. And honestly, you know, this is the way he wanted to go.
Like, but a piece of like if I get boneless wings
Yes.
and there's a bone in it, I'm gonna be pretty mad
Yeah.
because I'm autistic, and so
Wow.
if I get
The
like
sky's blue. This room is dark. I thought we were just saying obvious things now.
if I get a piece of like food and
Uh-huh.
it has a texture that I'm not expecting, like
Mhm.
if there's a bone in something or like piece of the meat is too fatty, then I just can't eat. So I would be so upset. But also the fact that the Supreme Court was like, no, they can have bones.
No, absolutely not. They're fucking wrong, and I hate them for it. That's absurd. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. And honestly, I hope whenever they order salmon at a restaurant, I hope that when they get it, it has bones in it.
Those are dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I hope that happens. Be like, well, obviously fish have bones. You know? Crunching down on some what they think is some nice soft salmon. Come to find out, it's got bones in it, dude. That's what you get, dude.
I would be pretty upset. I don't know what the Ohio Supreme Court is thinking, but
Well, apparently not often. I have one more true crime story.
okay.
You know, being a young boy, you know, you make young lad like yourself. Well, you didn't have a lot of friends, but as a young boy with your friends, right? You you know, you do some goofy stuff, do some hijinks, do some stuff you shouldn't do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you, I don't know, TP somebody's house, or you make a ramp and then instead of using blocks of wood, you use your friend Terry. Put a piece of plywood on the top of them, just ride bikes off them.
Never done it.
Like, yeah, I know. Obviously. I said if you had friends. And, you know.
if I were a small boy,
Yeah.
which I'm neither.
Now you're a full-grown man. And I'm proud of you.
I'm not a full-grown man.
Okay. But the thing is boys make silly decisions when they're young, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do some stuff you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like picking up frogs and hold them up to one another and just go like,
I love you, Mr. Frog. I love you, Mrs. Frog.
and then then you're not allowed to come to the sleepovers anymore. But what I'm getting at is everybody makes mistakes, and that is no different for these three boys, ages 11, 12, and 16, dubbed the Little Rascals. You know,
boy.
it's a cute name. They've been
What'd they
arrested
do?
for robbing a bank in Houston, Texas.
Oh my God.
So we all make mistakes.
That's more than just a mistake.
Just goofing.
Do you think it was obviously the 16-year-old who came up with the idea, right?
I think it was the 11-year-old.
You think it was the 11-year-old?
Yeah, they're all at GameStop together.
Then why did the 16-year-old go along with it?
Because he's an idiot. Obviously. Who robs a bank at 16, 12, and 11 other than fucking dummies? You got to be at least 18 to be doing that. Now, The Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said the youngsters are in custody and have been charged with robbery by threat. Gonzalez said that because of their ages, no additional information will be released. The sheriff's office didn't immediately respond for a request for more information. The FBI's Houston office says they were wanted for robbing a Wells Fargo bank in the Greens Point area north of Houston on March 14th. The FBI posted an image of the trio on X, Twitter, showing all three of them wearing hoodies inside the bank's lobby. The boys, Houston's ABC 13 reports the boys passed a threatening note to the teller before fleeing on foot with an undisclosed amount of cash. So they did get away with some cash.
Surprising, honestly.
Yeah, the situation also reports the parents of the two boys identified them after the photos were released, while the third boy was recognized by a law enforcement officer following a fight. It was the 11-year-old. Hanging outside of bars and be like, I'll fuck you up! And just fighting old grown men. Losing.
Oh.
Lost immediately. Because he's a child.
Not even like a pity win?
No.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like they just come up and they got their hand like a shirt over their hand. They're like, put all the money in the bag. And that's when you reach over and you grab by their hand and you fucking punch them as hard as you can in the face.
Like in the pocket of a hoodie.
Yeah. Well, you ever see like those in some places they have the teller would be like, okay, and they hit a button and like fucking guards come down like, and then like pepper spray comes out, dude.
No, I've never seen that.
Awesome. I'm gonna put that in my car. But I just like to imagine that where they're like, oh, we're gonna get so much fucking trouble, and then like, please roll up and just start fucking shit. Be like, we're gonna go ahead and just get the shit out of you for about 20 minutes and then send you home. It's like, all right.
They learned their lesson.
But speaking of getting people shit kicked out of them.
You didn't even let me tell the most tragic story.
Oh, yes, of course.
I can't believe you. I can't believe you'd forget about it.
I was so caught up among literal children robbing a bank. The Supreme Court of, what was it? Ohio being incredibly wrong. And a man with meth.
So this is a pretty upsetting story, so be warned. An Oscar Mayer Wienermobile got into a bit of a pickle on the Chicago highway.
Incorrect. It's a hot dog.
He got into a pickle.
Ooh.
So a hot dog shaped Wienermobile hit a car Monday morning along Interstate 294, and the driver lost control, overcorrected, and caused the Wienermobile to roll onto its side. There were no injuries, but prompted the closure of the right lane. A spokesperson for Oscar Mayer brand, which, don't worry, has several Wienermobiles, told the Chicago Sun-Times that they're just grateful that everyone involved is safe and there were no injuries. And then later on, it was hauled away on a flatbed truck with apparent damage on the vehicle.
That's absolutely insane. I just like immediately before you said like there was no injuries, I immediately thought of like worst case scenario, like it rolls over, it fucking bursts into flames, and I was like, that has got to be one of the top 10 worst vehicles to die in, because you're just covered in hot dog water and surrounded by hot dogs, and you're like, it's fucking delicious in here. Is that me or is that the hot dog? It's me.
My favorite is the photo of just a very sad-looking Wienermobile on its side.
Yeah, see if we can see if you can like pinch and zoom. We'll just do it the classic way.
Well, I can't even zoom, but hello.
Oh, there it is. It's on its side.
Sad Wienermobile.
How could this happen to me? Made my mistakes. Got nowhere to run. Life goes on. No,
it's a very sad Wienermobile.
That's one sad wiener. Last time I saw a wiener that sad was in a Blue Chew ad. Now,
great.
Use promo code CHAOS to check out. We're not sponsored. I haven't told you what we're covering.
No.
You didn't want to know.
It's not that I didn't want to know. I just said, you can surprise me.
I started to tell you, you went, shut up, shut your mouth. And I was like, okay.
He acts like I'm this like violent person. And I just have these outbursts. And I fucking don't. Okay?
Hamburger, help me. We are covering an individual. Last week I said we're going to kind of do something kind of beyond the grave, but not really in the grave. It was the whole thing. I started researching more into that topic, and I realized it was way more complicated. So hopefully next week we can do that topic that I was alluding to, because I started researching into this one topic, and then I was like, holy shit. It was like opening a door. You open the door, and then it's a window, but it's fucking like down. So you're like, huh? So you open that window, and you go up, and then all of a sudden you're inside of a bank in Houston, 11 years old, robbing it. Now, this individual is by far one of the most terrifying individuals to ever exist in the United States. This individual, some would classify them as a serial killer, and if you do, they have the largest suspected body count in modern times. I think it pretty much rivals H.G. Holmes. And it's fucking wild. Any guesses?
No, you gave me those hints the other day, and I was like, I don't fucking know. I don't know, man. I'm stupid. I don't know names. I don't know faces. I'm just here.
Hey, that's what we do here on HGO.
Yeah. I just am here.
You are here. Now, this individual is from Jersey City, New Jersey. Does that narrow it down for you?
No.
Okay. Ghosts and Ghouls. This is the story of Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman.
The name sounds familiar.
Oh, baby. Look, you ready to get into this shit?
I'm ready to get into it. Honestly, my brain mush. It's mush.
What's new? Now...
You didn't need to call me out.
We have videographic evidence of me just going, now hold out your left hand, and you had to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. And I was like, I'm going to marry this woman.
That was the deciding factor.
No, it was more like, I'm going to marry this woman.
Oh, boy.
No, Taylor, walk down the aisle. No, the other way.
Listen. I'm doing my best. We always record these when I'm fucking dead tired, so my brain is like not on.
Yeah, that's fine. You want a beer?
No.
Okay.
I don't like beer.
Great. Ready?
Yeah.
Ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
Richard Kuklinski was born April 11th, 1935 in his family's apartment on 4th Street in Jersey City, New Jersey, to Stanley Kuklinski, a Polish immigrant from, car walks. Man, there's no way I'm getting a Polish name in. Absolutely not. I should have called Vaughn for this.
You should have.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I can try.
Oh yeah, you want to go ahead? Uh-huh.
Car walk?
Car walk?
Car walks?
I don't know.
Car wash?
Could be which? I don't fucking know, dude. I can't read. All right? Can't read.
Much less in another language.
Believe me, I sat there and watched fucking 5 different videos on this dude, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but they were like an hour and a half, 2 hours a piece.
My God.
Just at my desk drinking beers and
Be like
listening. So his father worked as a brakeman on the Delaware, Lackawanna and Western Railroad. His mother was Anna Cecilia McNally, a devout Catholic, first-generation Irish American who worked in a meatpacking plant, and he was the second of 4 children.
Okay.
So kind of traditional for that area. A lot of immigrated families kind of move in around this time, especially during the 30s in this area of the United States.
Oh, okay.
According to Kuklinski, his father was a violent alcoholic who beat his children regularly and sometimes beat his wife. Stanley abandoned the family while Richard was still a child, but returned periodically, usually drunk, and his returns were often followed by more beatings for Richard. In 1940, Stanley's beatings caused the death of Kuklinski's older brother, 7-year-old Florian Kuklinski.
Oh, jeez.
Fucking killed his own kid. Stanley and Anna hid the cause of the child's death from the authorities, saying he had fallen down the flight of steps. Kuklinski's younger brother, Joseph Michael Kuklinski, was convicted in 1970 for sexually assaulting a 12-year-old and murdering her by throwing her and her dog off the top of a 5-story building. When asked about his brother's crimes, Kuklinski reported that, quote, "We come from the same father." So, not great.
Not super good.
Not a lot of winners in this family.
No.
So, Anna, reportedly, who was also often abusive, she would beat Richard with a broom handle, sometimes breaking the handle on his body during the assaults and other household objects. He recalled an incident during his preteen years when his mother attempted to kill his father with a kitchen knife. Anna was a zealous Catholic and believed that a stern discipline should be accompanied by strict religious upbringing, so Richard was raised in the Roman Catholic Church and served as an altar boy.
I'm sure he loved Catholicism.
I'm sure he was having... Listen, who doesn't love rituals? You know? You know, whatever they do.
I don't know. My Catholic churches that we would go to were pretty chill.
Yeah. Yeah, were they?
For being a Catholic church, yeah.
Every Catholic church I've been to as an adult.
Yeah.
So.
I went to a couple of Christian churches. My friend was a part of a Life Church.
What the fuck is a Life Church?
Life Church is basically church, but fun.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Life churches are weird. They're very odd.
That sounds awful.
Okay, listen. The kids and like teens one was actually pretty fucking cool because they just had a bunch of fucking games everywhere. That's how they looped you in.
Yeah.
They were like, you got literally like pinball machines and like fucking just air hockey, like all this stuff. And they were like, come play a game.
You know,
and then you get sucked into a sermon.
You know who else loved pinball? Jesus.
It was a ton of like fucking games. It was super fun. And they were like, all right, time for us to sing at you with my guitar.
Oh, absolutely fucking not.
And I hated it. I felt like my skin was melting off. I was like, I'm just here for the air hockey.
I'm sure I've told this. We're gonna get this is off topic. I'm sure I've told this story before, but back in the day, I used to go to this church. It was kind of my falling, not really falling out of religion, but my beginning of my venture into different religions, just kind of understanding what I wanted to have from a religion. And I was at this church that became a mega church after that, shortly after that, and I'll explain why. But it was this guy would bring in like pretty fire music acts to play on Sundays, like almost like they had like a Linkin Park kind of style band that came. It was fucking pretty weird, but fire. Like I was like, all right, I kind of fuck with this. Like it's pretty cool. And I wasn't super into it, you know. I just kept falling out of it, and he brings me aside and he's like, hey man, do you believe in this stuff? And I was like, you know what, man, I don't think so. I don't know. And he goes, that's okay. He goes, as long as you're doing good things in the world and helping others, that's what matters. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Like I didn't say fuck yeah, but I was like, you know, like, yeah, absolutely. That's what's important. It's helping others and doing good things.
Yeah.
And anyway, he's doing like 28 years in prison for trying to smuggle a bunch of drugs across the border in an RV.
I don't think
they found him.
I don't think
all of them.
I don't think the Life Church was that cool, but
Yeah, pretty cool. Life Church. Are you alive? Welcome.
hey, we'll play some air hockey.
You know who also loved air hockey?
It was ridiculous. I saw a video on it recently. I'll have to show it to you so you can get the idea of what Life Church.
I'll have to look into that. So Kuklinski later rejected Catholicism and regarded his mother as a cancer who destroyed everything she touched. Kuklinski's first wife, Linda, 9 years his senior. They had 2 sons, Richard Jr. and David. While working for a trucking company, he met Barbara Pederici, a secretary at the same firm. Richard and Linda then divorced, and he married Barbara in September of 1961, had 2 daughters, Merrick and Kristin, and a son named Dwayne.
Okay.
Kuklinski's family and Dumont, New Jersey neighbors were unaware of his criminal activities that we'll get into. Instead, believed that he was a successful businessman. Barbara described him as a wholesale distributor and said he was employed as an accountant. She did suspect that some of his income was from illegal activities. Due to their lifestyle and large amounts of cash, he was often possessed. However, given his mannerisms and the way he was, she never expressed these words to him. Jesus guys, like his volatileness of like how he was.
Yeah.
Just like, no. Instead of maintaining a don't ask questions philosophy when it came to his business life or associates. If Richard suddenly left the house in the middle of the night, Barbara would never ask where he was going, because
I don't need
Richard
to know.
was a fucking asshole.
She's like, I don't need to fucking know.
Yeah,
It's a need to know, and I don't need to know.
Yes, basically. The Kuklinskis divorced in 1993 when Richard was in prison, which, spoilers. Barbara said the divorce was for money reasons. She continued to visit him in prison, but only about once a year. And on June 4th, 1964, Kuklinski filed for personal bankruptcy, listing debts of $160,000.
Jesus.
So but we're jumping ahead.
Yeah.
So Barbara Kuklinski described her husband's behavior as alternating between good Richie and bad Richie, which is like the most New Jersey thing. It's good Richie, then you got bad Richie.
You got both. One or the other at any point in time.
Hey Richie, which Richie are you with today?
Bad.
Okay. I'm going down the bodega. Okay? Nothing from the bodega? Want some peach rings from the bodega?
No.
I took a Polaroid of a cat down the bodega. Want to see it?
Fuck your Polaroid.
Okay, bad Richie it is.
I fucking told you. Actually, I do kind of want to see the Polaroid.
So good Richie, as it was described, was a hardworking provider and affectionate father and a loving husband who often enjoyed time with his family. Barbara remembered that when Merrick became seriously ill soon after she was born, Richard stayed up all night after night to care for his daughter.
Oh.
Because he cared. In contrast,
oh boy,
bad Richie, who would appear in irregular intervals, sometimes one day after another, other times not appearing for months, was prone to unpredictable fits of rage, smashing furniture and being violent to his family. Despite these periods, he was physically abusive to his wife. He broke her nose 3 times and once tried to run over with his fucking car. His abuse also caused her to have several miscarriages. He was emotionally abusive towards his children, but according to Barbara, he never laid a hand on him because she threatened to kill him if he did. Merrick said that he once killed her dog right in front of her to punish her for coming home late.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Not a great way to win dad points.
No, definitely not. But also, like, I mean, why would you? I know that, like, bad Richie isn't, like, all the time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he killed your dog in front of you.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a no for me. I'm going to immediately check out from that.
Maybe leave. Maybe leave.
Nah.
Just maybe.
Nah, even if the family did try to leave, you'll see.
Oh, boy.
Wouldn't have mattered because of his profession.
Oh.
Barbara said that she once told Richard she wanted to see other people. He responded by silently jabbing her from behind with a hunting knife so sharp she didn't even feel the blade go in.
Oh, shit.
He told her that she belonged to him and that if she tried to leave, he would kill her entire family. When Barbara began screaming at him in anger, he throttled her into unconsciousness. Merrick also remembered a number of road rage incidents involving her father, of him just fucking threatening to kill people and trying to fight people, you know, just...
Yeah.
Which, it is Jersey.
Yeah.
So I could see it. Like, fuck your mother! You know, like that. But he's like, I'll fucking kill you. I'm like, oh, shit.
Not super great.
Not super great. In the mid-1960s, Kuklinski worked at a Manhattan film lab. Through the lab, he accessed master copies of popular films, and he made bootleg copies of Disney animated films to sell. Kuklinski also discovered a lucrative market for tapes of pornographic movies, making copy and distributing pornography a regular source of income.
Oh.
Yes.
That's actually, I don't know if you know this, that's what I do for work.
Yeah, you sell bootleg porn?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know people have the internet, right? Who you sell? Oh, I guess it is Portland.
You have the Big Butt Sluts 3 on vinyl?
Now...
Listen,
Do you have Blowbang from Mars on VHS?
No, listen. The audio is on a vinyl, and the video is on a VHS tape.
So you got to pull like a Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz.
You gotta buy both to get the full experience.
Yeah. Yeah, otherwise you're just sitting there with your record, rubbing your pants, just going like, this is so fucking hot.
I make more money because people want the full experience.
Yeah, but you get a bad vinyl, but your tape's good, you know. So like the mouth doesn't match up, so they're like, bust my asshole.
Yeah, I've had a couple bad vinyls, but honestly, most people don't care.
Yeah, no, I mean they only spend about 5 minutes watching it anyways. I never see what happens when they make it to Mars. Oh, man. Through the pornography business, Kuklinski became associated with members of the Gambino crime family.
Oh, good.
Including Roy DeMeo. He was once arrested for passing a bad check, the only crime he was charged with prior to his arrest later on. He was photographed and fingerprinted, and the charges were dropped after he agreed to pay back the money owed. Several of his known victims later on were men he thought he met through trafficking, pornography, and drugs.
Oh.
He also headed a burglary group with associates Gary Smith, Barbara Deppner, Daniel Deppner, and Percy House. And Percy Home. Now, we're going to get into...
This isn't a Percy House. This is a Percy Home.
Boo. So, let's get into some murders. Shall we?
Sure. Why not?
On January 30th, 1980, Kuklinski killed 42-year-old George Maliband during a meeting to sell him some tapes. Maliband was reportedly carrying $27,000 at the time, which is a lot of money to be buying fucking porn.
$27,000. You know what? Actually, answer my own question. Because I sell bootleg porn. I get it. I know how pricey it can be.
You know how fucking hard it was to find?
Especially when you
Butt
sell...
sluts from Venus 5?
Especially
in
when
this market?
You're separating them on vinyl and VHS. You just... Shit gets expensive, okay?
No. But $27,000 to be guaranteed to go buy some porn is wild. How much of this like is he buying? Maybe he just wanted to be prepared. I don't know.
He's like,
what if there's more than one that I like?
well, he just like is like a 16-year-old kid. And he's like, I've never bought porn before. I don't know how much money is porn.
Yeah.
He's like
$27,000 for the tape.
He's like, I think $27,000. I think $27,000 is good. It's like when you people sell like oregano to teenagers. Yeah. It's like same concept kind of thing where you're like, I don't know what I'm buying. So here's a bunch of money and you're like, here's some fucking herbs.
Wait a second. This isn't pornography. This is a Spanish soap opera. Dios mío.
I gave you the wrong vinyl, huh? Yeah, that happens sometimes.
That still works. Muy caliente. We're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Kuklinski murdered George.
Jeez.
And his body was found a week later on February 5th, 1980. Kuklinski had placed it in a 55-gallon drum and left it near the Chemetex chemical plant in Jersey City. He cut the tendons on Malaban's leg in order to fit the corpse into the barrel.
God damn.
This was the first murder linked to Kuklinski. Malaban's brother told police officers that Malaban was meeting Kuklinski the day he disappeared. After a plea bargain, Kuklinski admitted to shooting Malaban 5 times, saying it was, quote, it was due to business.
Did he tell his brother that he was meeting up with the guy to go buy porn?
Hey, George, where you going?
I'm going to go buy porn.
Okay, that's cool, but like what, you just gonna pick up a couple tapes?
I'm gonna pick up however much $27,000 gives me.
$27,000 fucking dollars of porn.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I want to have options.
Yeah, that's fair. But like he gets something like none of them are marked, so he's like, I'm gonna watch each and every one of these.
Now, if you're looking for Scat versus P, you can check aisle 1 and aisle 3.
Maybe he wanted to open his own store. Who knows?
You never know.
You never know. Anyway. On April 29th, 1982, Kuklinski met Paul Hoffman, a 51-year-old pharmacist who occasionally browsed the store in Paterson, New Jersey, a storefront with a back room holding a wide variety of stolen items for sale. Hoffman hoped to make a big profit by purchasing a stolen Tagamet, a popular drug to treat peptic ulcers, to resell through his pharmacy.
Oh.
Yes. He believed Kuklinski could supply the drugs and badgered him to make a deal. Hoffman was last seen on his way to meet Kuklinski with $25,000 to buy prescription drugs from Kuklinski. After a plea bargain later on, Kuklinski admitted to killing Hoffman.
Oh.
He stated that he lured Hoffman into a rented garage and tried to shoot him, but the gun jammed. Instead, he beat Hoffman to death with a fucking tire iron. He said that he then stuffed the body into a 55-gallon drum and left it outside a motel in Little Ferry. One day, Kuklinski noticed that the drum had disappeared, but never learned what happened to it. Hoffman's body was never recovered.
Jesus.
Yes.
Do you think someone took it?
I don't know. What do you mean took it? They were just like, oh, free.
This could be a great
You know what?
lamp.
I say that thinking about the fact that not everyone lives in Portland. Where
they're like, well, if you clean the body out of it, it's like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. It's the same room.
you clean the body out of it and you can make a really nice
Coffee table?
I was actually thinking a side table, but we were on the same wavelength.
Oh yeah, a little side table action, dude.
Yeah.
I'm fucking in, bro. Just gotta clean all the decomp out of it. Then you're good.
Listen.
Oh, dude, speaking of decomp, completely unrelated. I saw a Zillow listing today.
Yeah.
Nice house, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. Get to the bathtub, full decomp.
Whoa.
And I was like, you guys couldn't just put some Lysol on that motherfucker before you decided to take photos?
You couldn't like get one of the tub inlays, you know, like where it's not the actual tub, it just goes over the tub.
Yeah, it's the only home whenever you take a bath, you hear the ghostly howls of the man who died in it.
As I was going to say, here in Portland, we're all about that reduce, reuse, recycle. So, free 55-gallon drum.
Okay, great.
You pick up. No low ball. I know what I have.
You said you were tired, but you're firing all cylinders right now. It's great. This is fucking beautiful. By the early 1980s, Kuklinski's burglary gang was under investigation by law enforcement. In December of 1982, Percy House, a member of the gang, was arrested. House agreed to inform on Kuklinski and was placed in protective custody. Warrants were also issued for the arrest of 2 other gang members, 37-year-old Gary Smith and Daniel Deppner. Kuklinski urged them to lay low and rented a room in the York Motel in North Bergen, New Jersey. Smith then left the motel to visit his daughter. Kuklinski feared that Smith, after discussed going straight, might be an actual informant.
Oh.
According to testimony of Barbara Deppner, Kuklinski, Daniel Deppner, and House, who was in jail at the time, decided that Smith had to be killed.
Oh.
Kuklinski fed Smith a hamburger laced with cyanide, but when this was too slow to work, Daniel Deppner also strangled Smith with a fucking lamp cord. According to forensic pathologist Michael Baden, Smith's death would have probably have been attributed to something non-homicidal nature, such as a drug overdose, if Kuklinski relied solely on the poison. However, the ligature mark around Smith's neck and the fact the body had been deliberately hidden proved to investigators that it was indeed murder.
Ooh.
Murder. After Barbara Deppner did not return with a car to move Smith's body, Kuklinski and Daniel Deppner placed it in between the mattresses and box spring. Over the next 4 days, a number of patrons rented the room, and although they thought a smell in the room was odd, most of them did not look under the bed. Yeah, that's gotta be. Listen, that just proves people aren't cleaning these fucking rooms. Or like either that they looked under the bed and they're like, oh shit. All right, just tuck that in there.
That's not my problem. I literally do not get paid enough for that.
Listen, they already rented the room. We're not going to give them their money back. Don't be fucking dumb. Finally, on December 12, 1982, after more complaints from guests about the smell, the motel manager investigated and discovered the decomposing corpse. Gross.
Disgusting.
Gross.
I'm sorry. If I go to a hotel and I check in a room where it fucking smells like decomp, I'm moving rooms.
Yeah.
Immediately. Like, I'm not staying there.
Yeah, I'm not going to stay in a fake hotel, you know?
Yeah.
I don't go to hotels that instead of an H, it's an M. That's not going to be me. Motel, more like no-tel, dude. Fuck that.
We've stayed in a motel before.
Man.
Yeah, in San Diego.
I don't remember.
It was like our first trip to San Diego. It was actually a nice little like motel.
Yeah, other than the decomp stains.
Okay,
but
that's not true. We did not stay in a room where there were decomp stains. It might have been falling apart.
What?
It was. There were so many things where I was like, I'm gonna take a picture of this so they can't charge me and say that I did.
Yeah, I don't remember this at all.
It was, it didn't seem like a motel. But it wasn't a hotel, that's for sure.
I don't know. We're getting off topic.
But
we'll talk about this later. I don't remember any of this. I'm pretty sure this never happened.
I took some photos because there were things that were like broken or stained and stuff, and I was like, I'm not paying for this.
It was fucking decomp.
It wasn't decomp.
It was decomp.
It was not decomp.
It probably was. After Smith's murder, Kuklinski moved 34-year-old Daniel Deppner to an apartment in Bergenfield, New Jersey, belonging to Rich Patterson, then a fiance of Kuklinski's daughter, Merrick. Patterson was away at the time, but Kuklinski possessed keys to the apartment. Between February and May of 1983, Deppner was killed by Kuklinski Investigators detected that he was murdered in Patterson's apartment after discovering a bloody carpet. Kuklinski enlisted Patterson's help to dispose of Deppner's body, telling Patterson the victim was a friend in trouble with law enforcement and someone had broken in and killed him over the weekend. He added it was best to dump the body to avoid trouble with the police, then forget about the incident. Kuklinski made another mistake when he informed the associate that he had killed Deppner. Oh, shit. Deppner's corpse was discovered on May 14, 1983, after bicyclists riding in Clinton Road in the wooded area of West Milford, New Jersey, spotted a corpse surrounded by vultures. Kuklinski had wrapped the corpse inside green garbage bags before dumping it. Medical examiners listed Deppner's cause of death as undetermined, although they noted pinkish spots on the skin, a possible sign of cyanide poisoning. Oh. Deppner was also strangled. Investigators guessed that Deppner had already been incapacitated by poison because the partially eaten corpse had no defensive wounds, and a healthy adult man are rarely killed by strangulation. The medical examiner found Deppner's stomach full of undigested food, indicating that he had died shortly after or during the meal. The beans that Deppner had eaten were burned, so they reasoned the meal was home cooked because most restaurants don't get away with serving burned food to their customers. Investigating officers discovered the corpse just 3 miles away from the ranch where Kuklinski's family was often horseback riding. Deppner was the third Kuklinski associate to be found dead.
They just didn't connect any dots at all.
No, there had warrants out for him by this point. From what I
there
remember.
Were?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was something unrelated.
They were like,
Yes.
Do you think this guy that we have warrants out for could have done this?
No, definitely not.
Great.
On May 25th, 1983, the body of 50-year-old Louis Mazgay was discovered near a town park near Clausland Mountain Road in Orangetown, New York, with a bullet hole in the back of his head. Mazgay had disappeared over 2 years earlier on July 1st, 1981, the day he was to meet Kuklinski at a New Jersey diner to purchase a large quantity of blank video cassette recorder tapes, which Mazgay had about $95,000 in his van to buy these things.
How much is he selling it for?
$95,000.
Why? How many tapes was it?
It doesn't say.
Like blank?
Yeah, so I'm guessing a lot.
For $95,000?
At least 10.
I was thinking at least 5, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. At least 10. At least 5.
10's pushing it.
No.
9.5.
No, it's at least 10. It's probably more than that, but it's at least 10. You know?
I don't know. 10's pretty high number. I don't know if I can agree with that.
Yes. It's at least 10. Don't be ridiculous, Tay. $95,000 for 5 tapes, dude. You're being absurd right now. Being absurd. You're being. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. You're being downright goofy right now. All right.
Listen, the resellers have really started jacking up the prices.
You're being real goofy right now.
It's me. I'm the reseller.
For your illegal porn business. It's not the porn that's illegal. It's the fact that you're selling it illegally.
I don't understand how you could sell porn illegally, but
talking about like copyright laws. All right.
Yeah, it's fair. Doesn't matter to me though. I haven't been caught yet.
Yes. After another plea bargain, Kuklinski admitted to shooting Mazgay. His body had been stored in a freezer, then disposed of in the park 15 months after his death. However, Kuklinski did not thaw the corpse before he dumped it. He also wrapped it in plastic bags, which kept it insulated and partially frozen. The Rockland County Medical Examiner found ice crystals inside the body on a warm September day. If the body had been thawed before discovery, the medical examiner stated he possibly would have noticed, would never have noticed Kuklinski's trickery. Investigators realized Mazgay was wearing the clothes his wife and son had said he was wearing the day he disappeared. The discovery that Kuklinski froze Mazgay's corpse encouraged law enforcement officers to nickname him the Iceman, a nickname frequently used in the headlines. Yes, that's how he gets the name the Iceman.
Oh, okay.
So, in various interviews, Kuklinski claimed to have murdered around 200 people. Which, given the whole scope of his crimes
with
the mafia that he does, Would not shock me. Have you seen that? You probably haven't seen the Iceman movie, huh?
It sounds so familiar, but I cannot recall.
It's
if I have.
fucking awesome. Super good. But yeah, dude was a mafia hitman. Just blasting people. Selling bootleg tapes. Porn.
I get the whole selling bootleg
Drugs.
tapes. I don't sell drugs, just copyright.
That's where I draw the line. I won't sell bootleg pharmaceuticals, but goddamn, will I sell bootleg pornography?
Well, listen, everyone's got their morals. Everyone draws the line somewhere. And my line is pharmaceutical drugs. I don't sell those.
Listen, that's okay. Great. He alleged that he used multiple ways to kill people, including crossbows, ice picks, a bomb attached to a remote-controlled toy, firearms, grenades, as well as cyanide solution spray he considered to be his favorite.
Great.
Yes.
Lovely.
He said he committed his first murder at 14 and practiced and murdered homeless people for practice. In 2006, Paul Smith, a member of the task force involved in arresting Kuklinski and later a supervisor in the organized crime division of the New Jersey Attorney General's office, said, quote, I checked every one of the murders Kuklinski said he committed and did not and not one was true. Just calling him a lie. You call me a lie?
I'm calling you a truther.
Okay. He added, authorities thought the country could not corroborate one case based on the tidbits of Kuklinski's grave. In 2021, Dominic Polyphron said, quote, I don't believe he killed 200 people. I don't believe he killed 100 people. I would go as high as maybe 15. Maybe. I believe he killed at least close to 200 people. Personally. Kuklinski was also alleged that he was a mafia contract killer, independently working with all 5 crime families in New York City, as well as the, De Cavalcante. Hope I said that right. The Cavalcante. Yes, ma'am.
De Cavalcante?
Yes, I believe I said that correct. Family in New Jersey. He claimed he carried out dozens of murders on behalf of the Gambino family. He said he was also one of the murderers of Bonanno family's boss Carmine Galeante on July of 1979, and Gambino's family's boss Paul Castellano in December of 1985. For Castellano's murder, Kuklinski said he was personally recruited by John Gotti, ally Sammy Gravano, who instructed him to kill Castellano's driver and bodyguard, Thomas Bellotti. He told Philip Carlo he was hired by John Gotti to kidnap, torture, and murder John Favara, a man who accidentally hit and killed Gotti's 12-year-old son, Frank, with his car. Yeah. Yes. Organized crime.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair.
Do I believe he worked with all 5 crime families at the time? I'm not sure. Do I believe he killed well over 15 people? Abso-fucking-lutely.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, he kind of, like, made himself a name in the mafia hitman business where...
Yeah, he was like, I'll blast the dude for a price.
Well, like, and, like, they're like, you know what? 5 stars. He did a good job. 10 out of 10 would use again.
Saying like an Uber for contract killers? Is that what you're trying to say?
I was thinking more like a Yelp, but yeah.
Like a Yelp for contractors? Talk too much, did good work. Like an Etsy for killers?
Yeah.
Listen, I loved the display. I think it was great.
Very efficient.
Very efficient. Would hire again.
Very quick.
Would hire
Wonderful
again.
pricing.
Would hire again to kill my enemies. Yes. Very, very efficient.
Great time. Great turnaround time.
Yeah. Yeah, he said 4 days. He got another 3. It was great. Give him cash tip. And cash.
Definitely just cash.
Yeah. Can't pay through the app. The Finns are watching.
No.
Kuklinski also alleged that he was a mafia I already said all that. Kuklinski claimed involvement in mafia hits has been disputed by other authorities, including Jerry Capesci. Philip Carlo claims the Iceman killed Phil Castellano, Carmine Galante, Jimmy Hoffa, along with Roy DeMeo, and about 200 others. Come on. Dude, believe that? I don't know anyone who believes that. No one. No one believes that. You're more like Italian. You need more. You're more Italian side of your family to be here, so that they can do these voices.
You need to start taking Italian with me.
Yeah.
Go on Duolingo.
I'm not gonna do that. Now the.
You don't got. You just got to do one lesson a day. For 10 minutes.
I don't need to do that.
10 minutes a day, you could learn Italian.
You don't need to. I know what I need to know. Mozzarella. That's all I need.
Good luck getting around Italy like that.
Just go. Mozzarella.
That's not how that works.
Yeah. And they'll hail me as their king.
My Duolingo decided I didn't need to know how to count numbers. All I need to know is how to order a coffee. They're like, first thing first, order at a cafe.
Yeah. You're like, fuck.
I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's probably going to be more.
I mean, that's pretty real, though.
It's going to be more accurate than being like, 1, 2, 3.
Out of the 1. Out of 2. 3. 4.
You say 4 or 4.
Find out next week in Hot Screws and Omens. Capacci labeled Kuklinski, quote, the Forrest Gump of mob hits, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Dog's barking. I do apologize. You guys can't hear that. He's upstairs.
River's a little loud.
What is he barking about? Anyway.
A squirrel,
Probably.
a leaf, a car.
The Forrest Gump of mob hits is the funniest thing I've ever heard a detective say, ever.
Yeah.
Or I think Jerry Capesci is a detective. I assume he's a detective. If not, it's even funnier. After he became a government witness in 1999, Sammy Gravano admitted to planning the murder of Castellano and Bilotti, but said the shooters were all members of the John Gotti's crew who were chosen by Gotti. He did not mention Kuklinski. Anthony Bruno felt Kuklinski's participation in the killing of Castellano was highly unlikely. Bruno noted that in 1986, Anthony, Jesus Christ, my fucking brain's melting now. I read all this already. Anthony Indelicato was convicted of Galeante's murder, and Kuklinski was not mentioned during the trial. Kuklinski's biographer Philip Carlo also acknowledged that Kuklinski claimed to have been involved in the Galeante's murder was untrue. Former Colombo family capo Michael Frenzes claimed Kuklinski a pathological liar and said, quote, I spent 25 years in that life on the street. I never heard his name mentioned once. Not once.
Oh. Now.
So is it all a lie?
Now, is it all a lie, or, hear me out, they decided to not name him in case they needed he got back out of prison and they needed a man.
Or he got out of prison and they're like, we ratted on him. They're like, we ratted on a guy who killed 200 people. We made him kill 200 people.
Yeah.
All 5 crime families are like, okay, so we fucked up.
Guess what? We're not fucking ratting on him.
Did you guys hire him? They're like, yeah. It's like, did you guys? Like, yeah. It's like, oh, we're fucking dead. We're all dead.
So dead.
And then like the fucking lights dim. It's like boom. And Richard Kuklinski from it. Fucking snub nose comes out. Yeah. Kuklinski claimed that he dumped bodies in the caves in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and fed a victim to rats in the caves. However, in 2013, Philadelphia Inquirer noted the caves had a lot of visitors since Kuklinski's time, and no human remains have ever been discovered. Local cave enthusiast Richard Krenzel. I knew that was going to get you. I knew it was going to get you.
Local cave enthusiast, yeah?
Now, Richard, tell me, what is your special interest?
Cave.
I like earth pussies. You know, caves.
Please never say it like that again. Thanks. Thanks. Please never call a cave that ever again. Thanks.
The only time I ever get wet is if there's a stalactite or stalagmite, depending. Which ones are the ones from the ceiling?
Stalactite.
Yeah, those.
You know how you can remember?
How?
Stalagmite. G. Stalag. Ground. Mite. Ceiling. C. One has a G, one has a C, and that is how you coordinate which one is on the ground and which one is on the ceiling. Welcome to Fun Facts with Taylor.
The doc isn't even recording right now, and and even if it was, that was still the most autistic thing I've ever heard him.
It's genuine, like it's legit.
I'm proud of you, bud.
Yeah.
Okay, proud of you. All right.
I was really into rocks as a kid.
You're into rocks now.
No, but I was like really into rocks.
We can stop there. Yeah, that's okay. That's great.
Oh God, spray. You're such a fucking psychopath. You're
So local cave enthusiast Richard Kuklinski also acquired the idea of flesh-eating rats, saying, the only rats I've encountered in caves are cave rats. They are reclusive and shy creatures and definitely not fierce, as Kuklinski claims. Law enforcement officer also doubt that he stored a corpse for 2 years in a Mr. Softy truck, which is not a bootleg porn that Taylor sells.
Can be now.
Great. In interviews and documentaries, Kuklinski said he killed 38-year-old Robert Prangay. I almost wrote that wrong. A mentor to him. Prangay was murdered on August 10, 1984, shot multiple times in the head, and was subsequently discovered in his Mr. Softy ice cream truck in a garage he rented in North Bergen, New Jersey. Robbery was not considered a motive at the time. Prangay had been Jesus Christ. Prangay had been about to go on to trial for blowing up the front door of his ex-wife's house, which is fucking wild. Kuklinski says that Prangay taught him to use cyanide and other methods to kill, and it was Prangay who told him to freeze the body of Maskey. However, Kuklinski says he killed Prangay after he threatened his family. Law enforcement officials have considered Kuklinski a prime suspect in the murder since 1986. The director of the New Jersey Division of Criminal Justice said that no charges were sought because Kuklinski had been convicted of other murders. In 1993, in response to his claims, Hudson County prosecutor said new charges against Kuklinski were possible since the Prangay murder was still open investigation, and they would have to assess whether there was enough evidence to prosecute him. Ultimately, no charges were brought against him for that said murder. You settled now, Spear?
Did you feel her behind you?
I did.
Okay.
She's part of the set now. Itchy lady. Now.
You set her off.
I did. Kuklinski claimed that he had also killed 42-year-old Gambino crime family soldier Roy DeMeo in an interview for the 1993 book The Iceman, The True Story of a Cold-Blooded Killer by Anthony Bruno. He described DeMeo as a mentor of his, which fucking seems real familiar, doesn't it not?
Yeah.
But after he fell behind on a loan due to distribute pornography, he received a beating. The two later became business partners. Kuklinski says DeMeo taught him how to murder for hire. So I taught him how murder for hire could be a way to make money. However, author Jerry Capesci, who has written extensively about DeMeo and the mafia, doubts that Kuklinski killed DeMeo or had close ties to the DeMeo crew. Most sources indicate DeMeo was killed by a member of his crew, with no suggestion Kuklinski was even involved.
Oh.
Yeah. Kuklinski is not mentioned in Capecci or the Gene Mustaine's book about the DeMeo crew, Murder Machine, or Albert DeMeo's account of his father's life in the mob for the Sins of My Father, which is a fucking cool fucking name for
that is a cool name
for a book about your dad being the mafia.
Mm-hmm.
The Sins of My Father is fucking That's hard as fuck, dude. Philip Carlo, whose biography of Kuklinski includes the claim that he killed DeMeo, acknowledged in the postscript to a later edition that this claim was probably untrue. So he's like, I might be fucking lying. But, it's already out. In his 2001 HBO interview, Kuklinski confessed to killing 36-year-old NYPD auto crime detective Peter Calabro, who was ambushed and shot dead by an unknown gunman in Saddle River, New Jersey on March 14th, 1980. Calabro was rumored to have mob connections and was investigated for selling confidential information to the Gambino family. His wife, Carmelia, had drowned under mysterious circumstances 3 years earlier, and members of her family believed Calabro was responsible, which is fucking wild.
Yeah.
At the time, his murder was thought by law enforcement officials to be revenge, either carried out or arranged by his deceased wife's relatives. Her brothers are regarded as key suspects in the crime remains unsolved. The burden... It just keeps going. It just keeps going. It's just one after another of him saying, like, I fucking did this murder. And then everybody going, actually,
I don't think you did.
I don't think you did. Like in his 2001 HBO interview, Secrets of a Mafia Hitman, Kuklinski said that he knew who killed 62-year-old former Teamsters Union President Jimmy fucking Hoffa.
Oh.
Yes, Jimmy Hoffa. Do you know about Jimmy Hoffa?
I believe so.
It is a whole thing linked to organized crime. It is wild. Fascinating. Allegedly. Fascinating. Or not fascinating, that was alleged. Or not alleged, that was fascinating, but it was alleged that it's linked to organized crime.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of words. Basically, Kuklinski did not claim any professional involvement in Hoffa's disappearance and presumed murder and did not identify any culprit. However, he later claimed that he killed Hoffa. In his account, Kuklinski was part of a 4-man kidnap team. They grabbed Hoffa in Detroit. While they were in the car, Kuklinski killed Hoffa by stabbing him with a large hunting knife. Then he drove Hoffa's corpse from Detroit to a New Jersey junkyard. It was placed in a drum, set on fire, and then buried in the junkyard. Later, fearing that his accomplices would snitch, the drum was dug up, placed in the trunk of a car, compacted in a cube, sold to Japan as scrap metal, along with hundreds of other compacted cars. The detective chief, Bob Bucino, who worked the Kuklinski case, said they took a body from Detroit where they have one of the largest lakes in the world and drove it all the way back to New Jersey. Come on.
That would never happen.
Yeah. We didn't believe a lot of things he said. Former FBI Special Agent Robert Garrity stated Kuklinski's admission to killing Hoffa was indeed a hoax.
Oh.
And that Kuklinski was never a suspect in Hoffa's disappearance, adding, quote, I've never heard of him.
I've never heard of him, so he's not anything special.
Never heard of this Gerard Way. Must not exist. Michael McGormans, never heard of him. Must not exist. Absurd. Anthony Bruno said that he investigated Kuklinski's alleged involvement in Hoffa's disappearance, but felt his story didn't check out. He pinned that Kuklinski made the confession to add extra value to his brand and omitted the story from his biography of Kuklinski.
You know, his brand.
Yeah. So for years, Kuklinski has been allegedly, and I skipped a bunch of stories.
Oh, yeah.
He's been allegedly blasting fucking people.
Yeah.
Non-stop. Like, killing, pretty much, not just indiscriminately, but it's like, we're gonna make $15,000? Go fucking whack this guy. And he goes, okay.
But
And he gets into a taxi and he's like, are you George Earlman? Boom! And just fucking kills a dude and he's like, this is my stop anyway. You know, just...
that wasn't even George.
Nah.
He just didn't answer fast enough for his liking.
6th Street and Broadway. Go! Right now, 6th Street and Broadway. Like, this isn't 6th Street and Broadway. It's Broadway and 6th Street. Anyway. Kuklinski came under the attention of Pat Kane, an officer with the New Jersey State Police. When an informant helped Kane connect him to a gang carrying out burglaries in northern New Jersey, Kane built a file on Kuklinski. Eventually, 5 unsolved homicides, Hoffman, Smith, Deppner, Mazgay, and Maliband, were linked to Kuklinski because he was the last person to see each of them alive. A joint task force of law enforcement officials titled Operation Iceman was created between the New Jersey Attorney General's office, the fucking ATF, which is wild. They were dedicated to arresting and convicting Kuklinski, which is wild. Was not expecting the ATF to be involved, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
But Operation Iceman, fucking hard.
That's pretty fucking hard.
Hard.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's
Basically,
a good pop punk band name.
Operation Iceman?
Yeah.
Yes. Love it.
Is that
Love
a
it.
band name?
That's a great band name. It's a great band name. If someone out there chooses Operation Iceman, let me know. Make good music. The ATF Special Agent Dominic Polifrone went undercover for 18 months to apprehend Kuklinski. Starting in 1985, Kane and Polifrone worked with Phil Solimene, a close longtime friend of Kuklinski, to get Polifrone close to Kuklinski. Posing as a mafia-connected criminal named Dominic Provenzano, Polifrone purchased a handgun muffler combination from Kuklinski and recorded Kuklinski discuss the corpse he had kept in a freezer for 2.5 years. He told Polifrone he preferred poison, saying, "Why be so messy? You can do it nice and calm." Fucking pretty spooky.
I mean, I guess. Isn't it like the whole thing is like men murdering is usually like super violent?
Yes.
Right. Women, it's more like
Poison.
Yeah, it's usually poison. It's not as messy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Be like that.
Except for like Eileen Wuornos.
Well,
But
there's exceptions because obviously he prefers poison. So
it's true. It's true. I mean, like you look at like Dorothy Puente, you know, killed her tenants with poison.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's the whole thing. Do we ever do a Dorothy Puente story?
No, I'd remember.
We have to do it then. Has to be done immediately.
Oh,
Fuck this episode.
we're done. He's writing a new episode right now.
Right now. He asked Polifrone if he could supply him with some pure cyanide. Polifrone told Kuklinski he wanted to hire him to murder a wealthy Jewish cocaine dealer and recorded Kuklinski speaking in detail about how he would do it. Kuklinski was also recorded boasting he had killed a man by putting a cyanide in his hamburger, and a couple of plans to kill a couple of rats, being Barbara Deppner and Percy House.
All right.
On December 17th, 1986, Kuklinski met Polifrone to get cyanide for a planned murder, which was to be an attempt on the undercover police officer. After the recorded conversation with Polifrone, Kuklinski went for a walk. He tested Polifrone's purported cyanide on a stray dog using a hamburger as bait and saw it was not poison. Suspicious of this, Kuklinski decided to not go through with the planned murder and went home instead. He was arrested at a roadblock 2 hours later. Kuklinski's wife was charged for interfering with her husband's arrest, which... All right. Officers discovered a firearm in the vehicle and she was charged with possession of a firearm because she was a passenger.
Oh.
It's fucking wild. New Jersey, New York laws.
Yeah.
All right, wild. So prosecutors charged Kuklinski with 5 counts of murder and 6 weapon violations, as well as attempted murder, robbery, and attempted robbery. Law enforcement officials said that Kuklinski had large sums of money in a Swiss bank account and a reservation on a flight to that country. Kuklinski was held on $2 million bail bond and required to surrender his passport. After the arrest, Kuklinski told reporters, quote, "This is unwarranted, unnecessary. These guys watch way too many movies."
Yeah.
No. At a press conference, New Jersey State Attorney General W. Carey Edwards characterized the motive for the murders as profit and said he set up individuals for business deals. They disappeared. The money ended up in his hands. Fucking true.
It's true.
True. At trial, Kuklinski's former associates, including Percy House and Barbara Deppner, gave evidence against him, as did the ATF special agent, Paula Frone. The case was prosecuted by Deputy Attorney General Robert Carroll, and Kuklinski was represented by a public defender. Kuklinski's lawyer argued that Kuklinski had no history of violence and only projected a tough image, including the statements to ATF Special Agent Paula Frone. The defense theorized that Deppner was responsible for the murders of Smith, and there was no cause of death determined for Deppner. Additionally, he argued the testimony of House and Barbara Deppner was unreliable because they lied to law enforcement officials, and House received immunity from prosecution.
I'm still in shock that he made so much money from his illegal bootleg porn that he couldn't get anything better than a public defender.
Yeah, I firmly agree.
Telling me that this man.
Hey, but Judge, I fucking sold you, like ass blasters from Chattanooga last week, and he's like, shut the fuck up. Mind your fucking business.
You know what?
Mind your fucking business.
I wonder if they just couldn't find someone to take the case.
Probably. They're like, fuck that.
I mean, lawyers don't take cases that they know for sure they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
It's true. In March of 1988, jurors found Kuklinski guilty of murdering Smith and Deppner, but found the deaths were not proven to be by Kuklinski's conduct, so that he would not face a death penalty. He was instead sentenced to a minimum of 60 years in prison.
Oh.
Very narrowly escaping the death penalty. After the trial, Kuklinski pleaded guilty to killing Mass Gay Malaban and was sentenced to additional 2 life sentences to be served consecutively. The state prosecutors explained that he would spend the rest of his life in prison, even if he was successfully appealed his previous convictions. Kuklinski also confessed to killing Hoffman, but prosecutors decided to not go to trial as they had a weak case, and additional life sentences would not really make much of a fucking difference because he's already in prison forever. Yeah. So, as a part of the plea bargains, the firearm charge against his wife and an unrelated marijuana possession against his son were dismissed. Kuklinski was ineligible for parole. Was ineligible for parole until 2046, where he would have been 111 years old. So, probably not.
Probably not.
During his incarceration, Kuklinski did a bunch of interviews, did the Iceman tapes broadcast on HBO, 92, 2001, 2003. Mayor Kuklinski, his daughter, her mother convinced Richard to do, according to the daughter, the mother convinced Richard to do some interviews and paid handsomely for them. In the last installment, The Iceman and the Psychiatrist, Kuklinski was interviewed by forensic psychiatrist Park Dietz. I think it's Dietz. In 2002, Dietz stated he believed Kuklinski suffered from anti-personality disorder plus paranoid personality disorder. And, dude had a lot going on upstairs. Naturally, as a contract killer, you're going to have a lot going on.
Yeah.
In October of 2005, after nearly 18 years in prison, Kuklinski was diagnosed with Kawasaki disease, which I found out isn't him turning into a motorcycle.
I didn't think so.
I didn't know. I was being legit. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, I mean,
and I was like,
that's fair.
Motorcycles?
It's not a super common,
I've never heard of it.
disease. I've heard of it, but I don't remember.
I don't remember. I had it pulled up on here, but I guess I must have not linked it in here.
Happens.
Sorry, guys. A condition that causes an inflammation. Let me rewind that. Okay. A condition that causes inflammation in the walls of some blood vessels in the body.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Most common in infants and young children. It's interesting.
He is neither.
No, he's an old man. He was transferred to a secure wing at St. Francis Medical Center in Trenton, New Jersey. Although he had asked doctors to make sure they revived him if he developed cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
His former wife Barbara had signed a do not resuscitate order. A week before his death, the hospital called Barbara to ask if she wished to rescind the instruction, but she declined. And on March 5th, 2006, Kuklinski dies at the age of 70 years old. At the request of Kuklinski's family, forensic pathologist Michael Baden reviewed his autopsy report. Baden confirmed that Kuklinski died of cardiac arrest and had been suffering with heart disease as well as some other things. So, let me ask you a question, if I may.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Richard Kuklinski killed more than the people that he was convicted of?
Yeah.
How many do you think he killed?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. I don't think it was the full like 200.
Yeah.
Or 200 plus or whatever, but maybe like I don't know, 50.
Yeah, I would say at least 30. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like 30 is pretty good. Especially if he was actually going around killing homeless people.
Yeah.
You know? Going around just fucking shooting homeless people for no reason. Or doing whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
Cyanide, putting cyanide and shit and just handing it to people.
Yeah. I
Who knows?
wouldn't be like terribly surprised if it was like 50.
Yeah, I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. I think it was at least 30. And
Sounds
what
fair.
do you... What?
Said sounds fair.
Yeah. What do you think, dear listeners? Do you think he killed at least 30 to 50 people? When this episode comes out on YouTube, which will be like several hours after it goes up on audio, go check out the Instagram. Put a little poll up there. See what you guys think. Well, Kuklinski, Iceman, thoughts,
It was good.
prayers,
I don't know why you
tots
need-
and pears.
What? I don't think you need prayers for this episode.
No.
don't think
Clearly, Catholicism didn't work for him.
Surprise, he rescinded.
Surprise. Yeah. So
Shocked.
I'm not. Yeah,
I just
I'm.
remembered I gotta show you what a life church is.
Yeah, you do. Well, if you guys had fun, you guys are sick fucks. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. Like, share, subscribe. You know, rate us 5 stars in listening apps. All that fun stuff. If you want to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, you can. HGOPodcast. Send us some hate mail. HGOPodcast@gmail.com. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah. If you want to follow me directly on Twitch or Instagram, you can at I Hunt the Haunted. Go check it out, baby. I'm going to actually get back into streaming probably soon here.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Pass it off to.
Hi, you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Lunar Thrill. It's other way, right there. You can also follow our dog at Spirit the Turf.
Spirit the Turf.
I gotta post more on there. I just doom scroll on TikTok. That's the only thing I do.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just is what it is.
Mhm.
I try my best to post. I always forget.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, we got, like I said, I'm working on that really fun episode. Very confusing episode. Probably do that over the next 2 weeks. We'll see. Maybe I finished early. We'll find out. We'll find out. But remember to stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
Life is like a box of chocolates. Doesn't last long if you're a contract killer. All right, bye.
All right, bye.